Welcome to the Central Bank of Kuwait's podcast, where the objective is to raise awareness to key economics concepts and developments which affects the lives of individuals and society as a whole. I am Mariam Lumkhazim, Senior Economist at the Central Bank of Kuwait. CBK recently launched a campaign on its social media accounts on women's empowerment in the Kuwaiti banking sector. And here with us today to discuss this topic are Ms. Maha Al-Hazza and Ms. Dalal Al-Mulla. Welcome. To start, Maha, can you please begin with a brief introduction on financial inclusion and women in Kuwait?
Thanks for having us on this podcast, Mariam. First, let me explain to you what is financial inclusion. Financial inclusion means that all individuals in society can access financial services easily. To that end, CBK has directed local banks to ensure the financial inclusion of women. As CBK celebrates the Arab Financial Inclusion Day annually that aims to increase the number of people served by the sector and to enable them to access banking financial services and improve their quality of life in general. CBK explicitly instructed banks subject to its supervision not to discriminate between customers or favor one group over the other. In 2015, CBK issued the Customer Protection Guide, the first principle of which emphasizes the application of justice and equality among all customers without discrimination based on gender. CBK's instructions for local banks are clear and binding, as the text states, banks should, in their transactions with customers, take into consideration that these transactions shall be processed with fairness, equality, and honesty, and shall be keen to make these approaches a part of their corporate governance rules and regulations. Banks should also pay further attention and special care to limited income and education customers, old people, and customers with special needs, without discrimination on the basis of gender.
On the country level, are there efforts towards empowering women?
Kuwaiti women have always been pioneers in the region, whether in social, political, or even intellectual fields. Actually, the first president of a university in the Arab world was a Kuwaiti woman in Kuwait University. Kuwaiti women have always held leadership positions in various fields, such as medicine, engineering, and more recently, in judiciary. These steps taken by the country to empower women in various fields are consistent with the fifth goal of the United Nations SDGs, also known as Sustainable Development Goals. This also comes within the framework of the Kuwait Vision 2035, New Kuwait, where the government aims to enhance women's participation in the labor market to support creative human capital and raise the number of their seats to above 35% of the general leadership positions in the country. As the Kuwait Vision of 2035 aspires to transform the country into a knowledge-based economy by enabling the private sector to act as a major engine of growth. As such, equal opportunity must be provided for both men and women to effectively contribute to achieving the vision's goals.
Well, that's on the country level. What about women today in the Central Bank of Kuwait?
CBK is considered one of the leading institutions in Kuwait in terms of women empowerment, Mariam. CBK provides an accommodating work environment and opportunities for promotions, career growth, and invest in women's capabilities and talents. This is clear by the number of women taking on leadership and supervisory positions in the central bank, as women hold 41% of the total number of supervisory positions. The number of female employees in the bank has reached 545 employees, which represents 58% of bank's total workforce. To provide a work environment that is attractive to its female employees, CBK has taken multiple measures, including adopting flexible working hours to help their staff work-life balance and providing scholarships and training missions for women staff to ensure their readiness for promotions and leadership.
Can you give us a quick snapshot on the state of women at the banking sector level?
In line with the policy of Kuwait in terms of women empowerment and CBK's instructions, women make up to 35% of all staff in local banks. They're not restricted to certain jobs or levels, but have proven themselves worthy to assume executive, leadership, and even supervisory positions, as well as active presence on the boards of banks and financial services companies. As of December 2022, data indicates that 998 women held leadership and supervisory positions in the banking sector in Kuwait, or what makes 26% of the total senior positions.
Tell us, Maha, about the future of women in the banking sector.
In line with the goals of the state's development plan mentioned earlier by Dalal, CBK is working to empower women in the banking sector through capacity strengthening and training. CBK has launched Kafa'a initiative in cooperation with the Institute of Banking Studies (IBS) and the Kuwaiti banks. This initiative provides top-tier training programs in multiple fields, including the Kuwaiti Master's Scholarship Program, the Harvard Executive Development Program, Risk Management Leadership Program, Cybersecurity Leadership Program, and Kuwaiti Graduates Development Program, where the percentage of women since the establishment of this program in 2009 exceeded 47%. In addition to those programs are a number of awards and certifications such as the Kuwaiti Economic Researcher Award, the Kuwaiti Economic Student Award, and the Sharia Auditor Certification. The Sharia auditing field is traditionally a male-dominated specialty, but as part of the CBK's effort to increase the number of women in the field, in 2022, over 26% of those certified in this program have been women. In total, 56 women completed Kafa'a training programs in 2022. Additional training opportunities were also offered to women through the Institute. Over the past 10 years, 730 women completed most important training programs offered by the Institute of Banking Studies. They represent more than 33% of the total training opportunities provided through these programs.
Many thanks to Maha and Dalal for joining us today. This brings us to the end of our podcast. Thanks for listening.